Welcome everyone. Aren't we excited? And we'll
Sure.
keep the excitement. I heard a sure. That's all we need. Perfect. Well, I am thrilled that you are here. Welcome everyone. And this is really I'm so happy to welcome everyone to today's masterclass. Sue, I just get excited hearing your voice, no matter what you're sharing about. And I'm honored to introduce you, distinguished Toastmaster Sue Brooks. She has been a part of District 38's education team throughout this year, but I have a personal story because she has also helped us out in club growth as part of demo teams several times, and they were extremely successful. So happy to be here with you, Sue. Today's masterclass will be well, I'm going to let Sue share all the goodness. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you and get ready for greatness. Take it away, Sue.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Michelle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so grateful you're here tonight to learn more about Free Toast Toast. Few housekeeping rules. This is an interactive workshop, meaning we will have discussion interspersed with the slides. If you have questions, and I hope you sure do, please raise your actual hand, your virtual hand, or type some questions or comments in the chat. Michelle has graciously agreed to monitor the chat for anything, and she can interrupt me at any time on any slide. There will be opportunities for breaks for questions. So if you want to speak to a specific slide, you may do so, or you may wait until the question slide, or both. This is being recorded for your benefit, as well as for the benefit of the people who are unable to join us or who will be joining us shortly. It will be posted up on the District 38 YouTube channel for future reference. And also, because tonight's session is our beginner session, we may not be handling every single question you have. So I wanted to share with you that next week, 1 week from today, on Tuesday, I will be presenting the intermediate session, which you can attend as well. And that too will be recorded. One of the greatest things about being able to present virtually is the opportunity to ask you to send in your questions, and some of you did. And then this way I can tailor my slides to the things that you want to learn about most. I'll give a specific example. John had a few questions. He sent in a few detailed questions, and I said, well, those are fabulous questions, but my presentation's already completed for tonight, but how about we address many of them in next week's session? So let's get started. Some of the things you'll learn tonight. The elements of your homepage will identify what makes up your homepage on FreeToastHost, and whether you think these things look attractive and are worthy, or maybe some examples that can be improved, much like a speech, yes? I'll be sharing some tools that you can use to track meeting rules. And I've gotten requests for this ever since Pathways was updated. Twice recently, once in October of 2025 with the new modules, and more recently with the addition of 2 new vintage paths. That's a little backwards. New vintage paths, newly rolled out vintage paths. And then I'll be sharing some resources where we'll get your questions answered, or we'll show you the resources that you could look up on your own for more information. So what makes your attractive web page, or what makes your web page attractive? Shown here, we have the primary colors and the secondary colors of Toastmasters International's brand compliant palette. I'm sure you've seen them in many of not just Free Toast Toast, but district websites, marketing communications, and other materials shared by Toastmasters International. Your attractive web page will also, hopefully, if you choose to, include images, whether they're photographs, illustrations, line drawings. Timely information. What does that mean? When does your club meet? Where does it meet? Did you change your meeting date? Do you have hybrid meetings 1 week and 2 weeks later you have an in-person meeting? The fonts. That is the typeface, how these things read. What else? You can come off mute, raise your hand. What else is important to make your web page attractive? Or what do you want to see on your page that isn't quite there yet? Anyone, Joyce?
Well, we have our basic information about meeting dates and club officers. We have a photo gallery. We have got the link to our Zoom meeting, the and a role sign up link for members. We also have some things that we put up of recent major events, like when one of our members won the area speech contest. So we'll have a couple months worth of recent accomplishments by members that are at the top of the web page too.
Oh, that's terrific. I love that. Does anyone else want to add to that? Anne Marie, would you like to share anything? What else makes a web page attractive?
Sometimes it's the font, the way and the coloring of how you do the font.
Terrific. Young May. Yes.
I just raised my hand. Okay. I have, I think, two pieces of information. One is that our secretary, club secretary, usually write a promo piece for the meeting. We have a meeting theme, so she writes something about the theme. So instead of writing a meeting summary, I would just put everything in past tense and put it on the web page and say, here's what our we have for our last meeting on what day. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful, and that's what we did. So I turned the promo piece around as a meeting summary just by changing the word tense and just give guests a flavor of the type of meeting theme we have. So that's one thing. The other thing is we have a PR piece, which is another organization wrote about us. Always have it on the web page. And recently, I just basically learned from Mercer's Best, their homepage. They have a line that's very engaging. They say, "Come join our meeting and see what 1 hour of meeting can do for you." That's very specific to someone who does not know anything about a meeting. So to me, that's very important to include on the web page. And it's very easy, just one sentence, but it means so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Okay, we'll continue. These are all wonderful things. I'm glad you brought them up. And as we progress through the presentation, I believe you might see some examples of some of the things that you mentioned. One of the things I found is this isn't an example of one, but you can have a floating header for members and a floating header for guests. They usually come up the first time somebody logs into the page for that particular session, and it can have timely information. And again, you can customize them for members and customize others for guests. However, if you use them, please make sure you keep them time bound and update them. Nobody likes to see a stale message about, please attend our anniversary meeting on March 25th, and now it's May 5th. That's a big turnoff if you have stale information. So what is wonderful about this Meet Our Members directory? This one comes from a club called AT&T Middletown Toastmasters. I wanted to share with you that Meet Our Members is something that every club can participate in. You have a private member directory, which is locked to the general public. But if an individual enables in their settings that they would like to share their profile, then it comes up under Meet Our Members. One thing I wanted to share with you about this one is that this is one of the clubs of our past international president, Roddy Spear. You'll see her a few people down from the top. And this particular feature of FreeToastHost enables people who are looking at your website in the public-facing properties to see who's in the club. You wouldn't want to share anything out there that you don't want the whole world to know, but you could share things that are things that you're happy about, your hobbies, your family, professionally. This is an excellent networking tool. Toastmasters wise, you could see who else has roles and responsibilities that you might want to connect with. And also, they have these little buttons at the bottom of each person's profile. Sammy's enabled them, Roddy's enabled them, a few others have too. And you could share your LinkedIn, you could share your X, you could share your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Any of your own personal pages can be accessed through your FreeToastHost. So this gives people an opportunity to get to know you better and connect with your social media. So this is a wonderful tool. Not everybody takes advantage of it, and individuals are not obligated to make their profile public, but if you choose to do so, it's a wonderful tool. Anybody here use it in their clubs and made their own profile public?
This is Joyce. No, we have not done it at midday.
Okay, well, that's something you may want to consider. Talk to the officers if you'd like to try it. It's up to you.
I've made a note about it.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Joyce. Now, something I wanted to share with you. This is a podcasting club. This is a specialty club in another district. And because it's a specialty club, I wanted to share that they have on their homepage very prominently, view our channel on Spotify. So if you visited the club and you want to learn more, you want to hear more of their podcasts, that hyperlinks to the Spotify channel. This particular page is a good example of people keeping their officer list current. And another thing is the club has taken advantage of the social media links. As you can see in the left navigation, the club has social media presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, a YouTube channel, and Instagram. So again, if your club is on various sites, this is another way to ramp up your homepage, put the links in there. But if you do, make sure your vice president of public relations keeps them current, and the team, it could be somebody other than the VPPR, helps support that person by making sure the content is current. And if for any reason the links are broken, then remove the presence so people don't get frustrated. So those are some examples of your social media links and specialized content that you could place on your homepage. Some of the things in the left-hand navigation are default items that come with your FreeToastHost package, and you can enable them to appear, or you can close them off if you don't want them to appear. You can also add special content in the members only section or in the public facing section. Next up, somebody before mentioned I think it was Young May mentioned something about summaries and pictures and putting that front and center. So here, this club had a few people achieving some education awards. So we thought not only are we going to send them a personalized letter and a bookmark and a ribbon, but we're going to put it up on our homepage and we're going to congratulate them. A few weeks ago, we had a pet theme meeting. So we said, let's take a picture. Anybody who wanted to be in the picture had the opportunity to keep their camera on and their virtual background on, displaying their photos of pets or their real pets. Anybody who did not want to be in the picture had the opportunity to close their camera down. And we always make sure that's announced. So this way we can get some fun pictures. People can see, oh, that's a good idea. Let's have a theme meeting. Next up, another example of AT&T Middletown. This particular image celebrated Toastmasters' 100th anniversary. And while that happened a while back, it does highlight a few important details, besides Roddy being in the picture. Why did I choose this as an example? Joyce?
Okay, I would say because 100 anniversary, that shows the longevity of Toastmasters. It must be an important organization if people are still coming to it after 100 years.
Good point. What's another feature of this page that makes this interesting and important?
We have a wide variety of people in the picture. It's a diverse group.
Yes, and it's also large. I see it looks like there might be some family members in the picture as well, but it is highlighted here because of the diversity in the picture, a large number of people. If you see the banner that's being
It's got
held up,
ribbons on it.
lots of ribbons, meaning this club's been around for a while. They've earned significant achievements over the years. It also ranks highly. There's information about how to get to the club meetings. The other thing that's important and interesting, because not everybody kind of gets it, but it provides the information front and center. It's being held at a corporate location midday, not midday Toastmasters, Joyce, but during the middle of the day, but it's open to the public. All you have to do is say, I'd like to visit. So that's an interesting aspect of the club, meaning, oh, I think I want a midday club, but I'm not a member of that company, but I can still go. So that information is shared. So that's another wonderful example. Thank you for sharing that, Joyce.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about this one for Downingtown Toastmasters. That's here in District 38. What do we want to say about this page? Do we have any volunteers who wants to share? Joyce.
Okay, you have right front in the middle, visit our club and decide if you want to join. It's an open invitation to visit. It's prominent, it's in red to stand out. So it says, guests are welcome. Give us a try.
Absolutely. What else can we do to perhaps spice it up? What might you suggest?
A picture.
I would recommend that too. I do like how they keep the fonts simple and they are brand compliant, but I agree a photo of some of these terrific meetings might be an enhancement. And the other thing too is you will notice at the way bottom, the blue bars with the white text. Those are default information segments that lead to other parts of the Toastmasters International site. So if the club decides they would rather use their real estate and not have those, they can be turned off. I don't know if all clubs who use FreeToastHost know that. It's okay if you want to keep them, but it's something that some clubs prefer saying, I don't necessarily want that on my homepage. I'd rather use it for photos or maps or information about our meeting times. So this one, Young May, yes,
Um, can you point to where you're referring to? Because I see a whole bunch of blue. There are the blue bars and then
at
blue
the way
text. Which
bottom.
one?
At the way
Okay.
bottom, the blue,
Uh-huh. Right. How do you turn it off?
that's under the admin panel. So,
Uh-huh.
so you would have to log as an administrator and turn
Right.
those things off. So
Is
that's where,
it is it going to be mentioned next week? Because I do the administrative duties, but I because there are a lot of choices. I don't know which one this falls under. That's my question.
okay, let me make a note of that and we'll build that particular answer to that question into next week's session. Turn
Thank
off
you.
blue bars. At,
Mm-hmm. And I just want to mention something about the social media link.
yes.
For our club website, we don't have any Facebook or anything, but we do have District 38
Oh,
under
good.
the logo under our social media link, which I did not know that it actually took us to District 38.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I did see some other clubs have it in the main menu, a link, or yeah, in the main menu, or in the members only menu, the link to, oh, two things, expanding on that, the District 38 website, soon to become the District 221 website, which you will do at the changeover, and also to the Toastmasters International site. There have been clubs that want people to be able to link to them. There are various items that are already there, but those are excellent ideas to provide both members and potential members with the opportunity to learn more about Toastmasters by clicking on those links. So thank you for that, Young May. Next, another example of a very successful club here in District 38. Members only, meet our members. And this one is meet some of our members. And this club has a lot of members. And again, a few of these, well, you start with the officers and then you go down in alpha order for the people who have decided to make their profiles public. And again, this is a good example. When I looked at this particular Meet Our Members section, it just went on and on and on. And I wanted to share that with you. So not only is this a big club, but many of the people had decided to make their profiles public, which is a good tool, a good marketing tool for you. Wow, I want to get to meet them. That looks cool. And I could also see that Kavitha has her social media and the club has listed its social media links. So these are all good ways to promote engagement. Look at this one, Michelle. Does this look familiar?
I'm stoked.
Let's talk about this page. What do we like about this page? Why is this attractive? Ladies and gentlemen, come on.
It's colorful.
It's colorful. What else about the colors?
They're the Toastmaster approved colors.
Absolutely, Joyce. They are brand compliant. And this is a really good example of and I'm not just saying this to make you feel good, Michelle. This is a really good example of a club using the brand compliant colors. Front and center, meeting schedule, every first and third Tuesday. Well, I got that. Another reason I really like the header, it states the club number. It states the district. Why is having your club number up top important? Okay, I'll share. I like having the club number front and center because as an administrator, you need to enter the club number to gain access to the admin panel. Not everybody has their club member memorized. I have one of them memorized, not all four. And you want to make sure you get it right. And it also helps people understand, oh, okay, this is part of a structure and it's good to know. Members might need to know their club number. This is a good place to place it prominently. And that we're part of District 38. Toastmasters logo looks like it might be slightly distorted, but this might just be me. I'm not sure. It's good to try to make sure that the aspect ratio is maintained. But there are some good parts about this homepage. Again, the time is in that burgundy bar with yellow type, and it's also at the very top of the page underneath the header. It shows the timing and it states that we meet via Zoom. The other thing that was attractive about this page, it's a little tough to read, in my opinion, but we share the mission. How important is that? Too often we forget the basics, but this is very important. So I chose this particular example because it does a few things very well. Another enhancement might be to place some photos on the page a little lower down, if it's permitted in the environment. Not all clubs can post photos because of permissions and privacy policies. Oh, look. Midday Toastmasters. Sangeeta Kumtakar won her area contest, and she's highlighted with our division director, Marie Maranki, the marvelous Marie Maranki, that is. And Midday Toastmasters thought it would be important to place this honor on their homepage. This is what Joyce was talking about before. Joyce did not know that I was putting this in the presentation, but in the past, Joyce and I have had many examples of being like-minded. What else is wonderful about this homepage? If nobody wants to speak up, Joyce, you can, even though it's your club.
Well, we have the basics here. We have the mission statement. We have the meeting times. We have that we meet we have Zoom only meetings and we have hybrid meetings. We have the location of the library where we have our hybrid meetings. Just basic information about our club and they have my home phone number. If they have no other way of getting in touch with us, they can call me at home.
There you go. Those are some excellent examples. And news, March news, February news. This is all terrific stuff because people shopping for a new club or looking for ideas on how to enhance their website, they go, oh, that's a good idea. Much like Young May said, with little snippets of information summarizing what went on. What did you do? Did you have a theme? Did something fun happen? Did somebody win an award like Sangeeta? All these terrific things. Share them and keep them fresh. I also like how we share the club officers. So if people want to get in touch with somebody specific, they can. This is an example of a club located on Staten Island in New York. Why might this be an example that I wanted to share with you? Staten Island is quite famous for the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, connecting Staten Island, New York with Brooklyn, New York. And this is a painting created by one of its former members. They kept this because this is such an iconic view, and people in Staten Island take a great deal of pride in that bridge and the location. They want people to know you are located in Staten Island, New York. They describe when they meet. They meet hybrid and have an in-person and a Zoom opportunity. The Zoom information's there. Check your Facebook page. There's all kinds of information on the page. Even though there aren't pictures of people, it's still interesting. I think the yellow is a touch bright and the blue might not totally be compliant, but overall, there are some positive aspects of this homepage. Again, we're sharing information that people who are looking for a club want to know. Again, the podcast Pioneers Club, I wanted to share a little bit more about this one. We talked about it earlier. We have the podcast logo, view our channel on Spotify. We have our officers, but moving down the page, we were able to capture a photo of a meeting. So this way people could see the diversity in the club. They could see, oh, we're an online only club. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that they are on a number of different social media sites. Jersey Shore Toastmasters. Why did I choose this particular web page? What strikes you about this page? Joyce?
I like the graphic of the speaker and the lectern.
What else does this club website do? Now you can look at the nav, you can look at the main section.
I like the bullet points, the 4 bullet points of speaking, presenting, selling, and leadership. It's simple to the point.
Okay, those are important things. For me, the type is a little hard to read, so I might choose one. If I were to redesign it, I might want to choose a different font. But one of the things that I think is very important is that they tell you that they had recently moved to a different location. They were further south. They moved up to a location in Howell. So people who think, oh, well, I think they're still at the other location, I want to come visit them again, they're in a different place. So that's important for everybody to know. One of the things that I found extremely interesting in the left nav bar, under the one that says Toastmasters video, there are 3 different links to YouTube videos with their members in action. Career Advancement Tips by Steve Fraundorfer. Members in Action, there's another one. Passion, there's another one. Featured in the Asbury Park Press article about wealth management. These are amazing links. These people who are members of this club are featured in videos, and they placed these links right on their homepage. So if people are excited about these topics, they can go right to these videos and check them out if they want to learn more. that's also another good use of your left-hand navigation. And anybody can do this through the membership, through the administration panel to highlight the membership and their skills. Questions. I know it's been a quiet group so far, but I'm opening it up for questions. Anything we talked about so far? Young May.
I don't have a question, but thank you for the presentation. It does spark some ideas. For example, our club website can do better in highlighting member achievements, either in the club, like in the area, or outside of the club, because we don't have in-person meetings, so it's hard to put a cozy, like all-together picture, but we can put member accomplishment outside of the club, where they have used their public speaking skills. They did a presentation, they gave a seminar. We can ask our members to submit photos of that and maybe even link to, let's say, a YouTube recording of their presentation in a university, in an invited speaker. So we could do better than that. That's
I
another way to get to know our members, you know?
Absolutely. I love that idea.
Mhm.
Anybody else comments or questions about any of the material we shared so far? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Some of the things people were asking for throughout this year and last year, since I've been serving as the FreeToastHost support person for District 38. Some people have asked, well, how do we get the email reset? How do we get, what do we do? This is the master FreeToastHost support and development site. You can take a screen snap, you can have this information after when you go back to the video once it's uploaded to the district website, but support.toastmastersclubs.org is the website. You have the opportunity to learn in depth how to use the site. There's a blog, there is a section on meeting the team, the people who are responsible for maintaining it, and there's sections on how to update your profile. There's all these elements. Oh, thank you, Anne Marie. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle just placed it in the chat. So these are places that you can go. Obviously, you can reach out to me, but this is another option for people who like to explore things on their own, or if any of the members of your club want to dig in and look at things. This is also a good resource for the next year's team. I know it's the beginning of May. Some clubs have already shared their new team with Toastmasters International. Other clubs will be having their elections this month. So once you get your new officers, you can go on to the Toastmasters International site and upload your names of your new officers. But this is helpful to the Vice President Public Relations, who might be taking on the ownership of the FreeToastHost maintenance. This is helpful for him or her to know that this exists. They might have a basic understanding. They might have a terrific understanding, but this is good for them to know that there are places that they can go to get their questions answered. The next has to do with people have asked, how do I know what roles the members of my club have filled over the year, over the last 10 years, over the last however long you've had your website and information's been placed in it? On your agenda page, you could see it grayed out in the background. You have to be logged in as a member. On your agendas, you can select the people icon. And you can ask for any kind of role that you could see here, role report. You can run a report on yourself. If you're the Vice President Education and you want to verify a few things, you could look at a few agendas. You could look at the role report. You can look at when did they give speeches. You could see an attendance report if that's information that your club values. You could see it in an Excel spreadsheet, a meeting roll tally, a meeting roll attendance. You can get information for everyone in your club. You can get information for an individual or various groups, selecting that from the drop-down report for. In terms of dates, you could see you can ask for the current Toastmasters year, since inception, every date, since the start date, and then you can check it out before you actually run or download the report. If it's not what you want, you can go back and choose something else. This is helpful for people who are vice presidents of education, who might be tasked with approving levels or entire paths. You could use this in combination with the information that the club that the individual has on their base camp, but also ask questions if what they say they completed isn't in only your club. I'm in a few clubs where members are in multiple clubs. So the information on their role completion and speech completion might not just be only in your FreeToastHost site. But I did want you to know this. You can run a report for yourself or anyone in your club, and you don't have to be an officer to do this. Some other things that you might want to focus on with getting who did what and how often can be accessed from the agendas. This is an example of an agenda where I selected the pencil icon so I could go in and edit some things. If I am the Toastmaster, or in this case, I am the Vice President Education, I wanted to see how many times has this person been a Toastmaster? How many times have they been the timer? Have they given any speeches recently? So I could use the previous report and this. If it's a newer member, they might have a 0 before their name. If they're a more seasoned member, it could be something like 24 times that they've performed that role. You get the point. So this is the location. You go and select the pencil icon, bring up this panel, and there are either drop downs or pop-ups depending on where you are on the screen. And this is a location for information about members filling roles. This is something people have asked me. I want to know where I can find this. Education updates, as promised from the beginning. On the main agenda page, you have to be in a particular meeting's agenda. Say you're a speaker. Oh, look, it's Sue Brooks. She's speaker number 3. I select the path that I'm in. What I'm showing you here on the left is an expanded view of what's on the right. I select the path that I'm in. You can expand them or collapse them to get into the particular projects. But what I wanted to share with you is beneath the label Pathways Mentoring Program, you will see level 3, successful club, level 4, successful club, level 4, better speaker, level 5, successful club, level 5, leadership excellence. And when you click on the plus sign and expand any of those, that will provide you with the drop down for the educational presentations that we're all required to share with our clubs as of October 2025. This is the location. This is where you could find them. And then once the member has selected the particular speech project, presentation project from the level and from the series, it will pop up, and then the evaluation form will be a generic one for that particular series. And I hope that's helpful to you, because some people say, well, where do I get that from? Some of the evaluation forms do say 5 to 7 minutes, and we know they're a different time frame, like 10 to 15 minutes, but I wanted you to know that. Go by the length of this project. Next up, there's more education updates, and this is for the brand new paths that are vintage, brand new to us in digital format. Below Pathways Visionary Communication, there is Pathways Basic Training, and that is the one that was the one that Dr. Ralph Smedley presented. This is in Pathways, but this is where you can find it. If a member of your club has purchased this path and wants to begin working on it, here's where it is. If a member purchased the communication series with entertaining speaker and storytelling, as well as the basic manual, this is where it is. So the members of your club can find these paths. They could find these projects. They could select what they want, and it will appear on your FreeToastHost website. It will appear on your agendas. So I did want to share that with you, because as a user and as a vice president of education, I wanted to know. So I did some digging. Next up, somebody asked about meeting agendas. Can I make one? Can I change the date? What do I do? Under the administration panel, you go to meeting agenda settings, which is one of your options, and then you can choose your template and then customize the time, the dates, if you have a venue, if you're in person, and then you can add a name to it. The next thing you could do, or you could choose another option. There's many ways to create or customize or do a save as. And here's another option. Once you are in your club meeting agendas, you could select the pencil icon, which is the second one in from the right, and it says edit this meeting agenda. It will pop up to show you that information that you could see on the left. And it states very clearly, start with the agenda setup tab, then move to the meeting description tab. Then finally, use the meeting agenda items tab to create, modify this meeting agenda, and add roles, assign people to roles. So it moves you through from left to right. In each step, it tells you what to do. And again, once you're done with each of the pieces, save, which is on the bottom right. And then it will refresh and you can see it take effect. If you want more information about that, please let me know. We can go into it in detail in next week's seminar. But people did ask, where do you find this? How can you modify them? How can you take an agenda, change it up, and then save it? Somebody else had asked, well, what do you do with guests? Say they come, you want to keep their information somewhere. Well, on the membership management panel in the admin section, there's a section for members, prospects, guests. You could put their names, email, phone number, and if you have a follow-up item, here's a good place to keep their information. And then once they become a member, you could transfer them to the member section. But this is a good tool that's built right into FreeToastHost. questions on anything we covered so far? So what we learned tonight, we went over some elements of your homepage. We identified some of the things that worked out nicely, and we also shared some information on things that we think could be improved on our own pages and on other websites that we shared as examples. We learned about some tools that you can use to track your meeting rules. We learned about the education updates, and we learned about some locations where you can get your questions answered, or I could share a resource with you to get more information. So before we conclude, I want you to have this information for more information and continued learning. You can connect with me. There's my email. I want to encourage you to register for, thank you, John, when making changes, be sure to save as a new agenda or you'll be overwriting a previous agenda. Yes, we did mention save. So we're having another session next week at 7 o'clock Eastern. Here's the registration for that session if you haven't already registered. And I want you to keep learning with other classes, other master classes hosted by District 38. And it's a link to our website and the master class calendar. If there's something that you want more information about, you would like me to include it in our session next week, please send me an email. I'll do some research and I'll build it into what I hope is a wonderful intermediate session for you. I could take it in a number of various directions, but I did already make notes on some of the things you requested during tonight's session. And we want to mostly help you with your particular questions. I want to thank Michelle Brown for facilitating the session with us tonight. And I want to thank all of you for attending. I'm grateful you were here, and I'd like to return control of the meeting back to Michelle.
Thank you, Sue. I know I was quiet because I was off learning and doing. So thank you. It's always great to learn, and you are certainly a wonderful person to share your wisdom. I thank you for your time tonight, and I look forward to the intermediate session. I'm excited about that and all the wonderful things, the master classes that are going on between now and the end of June. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and especially you, Sue. Thanks for being a part of the masterclass.
Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you both.
Bye.
Her.
It is her.
Chinese lady.
Yeah. You're off mute, Mary. Say
Thank you.
Good night.
good night. Good night. Michelle Brown. I think it's exit session. Exit session. Whoops. Well, this exits the whole. Oh, this is really exit.